Yep, 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 yep.
All right, we ready?
All right, all right, all right. I think we are ready. We are ready. We are ready. All right, all right, all right. Make sure everything is queued up. I remember last
Working
time we
properly.
had the whole issue. We had the whole issue with volume
Right.
on last week's
Absolutely.
podcast, so we had to give you guys the volume from the volume from the backup camera. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to IAO
We had
Life
the IO.
Pod.
That's what we had to do.
Right, we had the IAO. Another episode of IAO Life Pod. For those of you that don't know, this is the spinoff of The Grind. Some of you know it as The Grind, but now it's brand new, bigger, bolder, better, more hard-hitting IAO Life Pod. Man, everything on this show, you already know is completely transparent. You already know that it is the realest show ever, right? And you know what we do here. We're going to say some things on this show that some people like. We're going to say some things on this show that some people don't like. But 1,000% of the time, we know that we're not going to say everything to please everybody, right? So
Right,
get in
right.
where you fit in, right? And you know what we do. If we happen to hear our dog Maximus snoring, that's exactly what it is, because he tends to take a nap
Right.
every time we try to do a podcast, right? So man, welcome to IAO Life Pod. What's going on, Pam McCray?
What's going on? Happy Tuesday to everybody out there. And you know what, babe? It's a new month.
It is
November is here. It's a new month, new energy, new vibes. You know, people out there are, doing so much right now, preparing for the holidays. There's some people out there that really have some year-end goals that they are running towards. There's some people out there that are saying, you know what, I haven't done too much in
Ain't
2021.
done nothing.
But you know what? They realize that there's some time to get it done. So I want to say hello to everybody out there, all the go-getters, all the winners, all the champions, all the ones who said that, you know what? I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep on running, clean on through across to the finish line. So great day to everybody. Excited to be back. And, I just want to say to everybody, for those of you that are jumping on, maybe this is your first time seeing it, that this podcast takes place every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find us right here at IAOLifepod.com, in which you can come have some fun with Nate and I as we just really share whatever God lays on our hearts and, drop some nuggets in order to help you to take your life, your business, whatever it may be, to the next level. Just really sharing some things that God has allowed us to go through. It is for real stuff, real situations, real things that we've been able to overcome. But I do want to say, babe, listen, they got to get ready because this is the month, right?
This is the month.
This is the month. If you all have not heard about the fact and realize and understand that when it comes time to creating next level success, it's all about you, then you need to know that that is the case. And so introducing the IAO, the Academy is presenting our very first virtual event that we are super excited about. That's going to take place on November 20th. So I want you all to mark your calendars, get ready, right? Get ready for all that's about to happen on this particular day. It's going to take place at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And you want to register, all right? Limited space. You want to register right now. Go to IAOLife.com. Click on events. Register for this incredible event that is free, right?
Free.
It's free, in which there are going to be 5 expert experts.
Subject experts.
Subject experts. That's what I'm looking for on this Tuesday morning. 5 subject experts that are going to deliver some powerful information. I'm super excited to be bringing that motivational, inspirational piece. We're going to talk about the physical aspect. We're going to get into the connection. We are going to talk about branding, right? Because in all that you do, you got to make sure that you are branding you first and foremost. And none other than our visionary, Mr. Nathan McCray, the visionary of IAO himself, is going to be delivering the Win Now formula. And I can tell you, this is an event that you don't want to miss. If you are serious about achieving a next level, right, achieving something different in 2022, then this is going to be the event of the year that truly sets you up for the success in order to go ahead and dominate in the next year. So we're excited about it. I know I am. I can't wait.
Man, this is brand new, right? So Pam's excited. I'm excited. It's a little bit of I'm gonna say a little bit of butterflies going on.
Butterflies, right?
Yeah, a little bit of butterflies. And you know, we're gonna talk a little bit about motion today as well. But you know, when you're doing something new, right? And we call it category creators, right? We got a lot of category creators that we're kicking out doing Project U. And it's going to be amazing for everybody that registers. So do what Pam just said, go register and get your seat, because space is absolutely limited, right? Even though it's virtual, the platform is still limited. Okay. So make sure you grab your spot. This is a free event. So here's what we want to do. We're going to jump in and talk about some very, very good stuff today, right? As always, what did we talk about last week?
Last week.
Last Thursday.
Last Thursday.
We talked about, hold on. Let me move back a little
anybody
bit.
take any notes?
Yeah.
Well, you know, hey, listen, real people, real life, real situations. I can tell you what we talked
So
about.
we talked about, we talked about the evolution of the vision.
All right.
The evolution of the vision, right?
Yes.
We talked about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 10 different things. So we like to cram as much as we can cram into a segment, right, to last about 30 minutes, right? So grab your pen and paper. We're going to give you guys some good fun facts. And you know, I said something a couple episodes ago, and I said this podcast ain't real funny, right? But then again, it is. It's kind of funny. It's not a complete comedy entertainment type podcast.
No.
It's a self-help, self-growth
Comedy
movement type podcast, right? So those of you that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, man, you're in the right place, because our main motivation is going to be to get you to moving forward and upward, right? And that's the key.
Yeah, that's the key.
And we're doing all of this without giving away the real content to the Project U, so that you guys get something fresh and new, right? So let's do something fun.
Oh, we're gonna have fun today?
Yeah, we're gonna have a little fun today. Have a little fun, right?
Tuesday.
So I'm gonna ask Pam. I'm gonna ask Pam a question.
Okay.
And we're gonna talk about
kind of
trial.
afraid now.
Yeah, you should be. I'm a little afraid too. Let's talk about trial and error.
Okay.
What is one of the, just name something that you know you can kind of like link to trial and error that has happened in your life that you've actually learned from?
Well,
that's on the spot.
Yeah, that's on the
Unscripted
spot.
conversation.
Trial and error, something that I've absolutely learned from a specific situation.
It could be a situation. It could be about you. It could be, anything. Trial and error.
Well, I don't know specifically what I can think. I'm sure that there's plenty of trials and plenty of errors.
I'll go first. Want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, so a trial and error for me is, I got to say, because I relate everything to me and my life experiences, right? What I learned. I believe that I learn from everything I do, be it good or bad, right? I don't know that is bad sometimes until I learn that it is. And then, so for me, trial and error would be, learning that I just did something and it didn't get me anywhere, right? I write it down and I may even scribble it. I just may scribble it on a piece of paper, right? But it's that hand-brain connection from me scribbling on a piece of paper that I remember it. Even though I don't see the paper again, It's just me writing it. I seem to remember things a little better. So I make this mental note. Don't do that again. Right now, am I always successful at not doing it again?
Probably not.
Probably not. But I do my best.
Okay.
Try
No, I got you. Okay. No, I thought you wanted something specific. So I'm going back in my mind, like trying to think of a specific situation. But I could tell you, okay, when you mention trial and error means, number one, in order to have a trial and an error, that means that you're doing something. So, when I think about trial and error, it's good to, when it comes time to success.
Come on, you.
Me?
You give me something.
Well, the only way. Well,
Don't be general.
Well, I would. Well, shoot. I mean, hey, you was just general.
No, I just talked about my flaws.
Okay. Well, I would say that number one, I failed at a lot of things. Right. The only way for me to fail at a lot of things is that I had to go through some type of trial. I don't like to use the word try. All right. Because to try to fail, but there had to be some type of trial in order to discover the errors that I needed to fix in order to create some success. So, I could talk about maybe a lack of planning,
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I could talk about
Stop right there.
time management.
Stop right there. Give me something real quick, what something you did and then something you learned the lesson from. Come on.
Well, you know what? Every time I travel,
Come on.
I'm not gonna say every time, because sometimes I can get it together. But every time I travel, I know in advance that I'm supposed to be somewhere and I have a flight booked. But what do I end up doing? Through trial and error, you think that I would learn, right? Because the same situation happens, but I end up being that person that is up late trying to throw stuff together in a suitcase just simply because of a lack of planning. That's just one situation, that I can talk about.
Let's stay there because that's interesting. Because for me, I can give you a lot of things that I've done that has been trial and error. I've tried things and I've erred and I just keep doing it, right? A lot of things. But since you're on that subject of time management, I guess we can throw procrastination in there too.
You can definitely throw that in there. That has a lot to do with time management.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play the psychologist with Pam a little bit because I do this all the time with her because we always say a lot of different cliches that we know reign supreme in our lives now, right? So if we say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different. Why do we keep doing it? Right? Why do we keep doing it? Trial and error. We trial, we error, but then we take it one step further. We just keep doing it. Right? It becomes, I want to say habitual, but it becomes one of those things to where, and let's just use Pam. Let's be super transparent because I can say, let me fall on my own sword first. Right? Trial and error for me.
I'm gonna
fall on mine so y'all don't think I'm trying to just come down on Pam. Right? I'm gonna follow my sword. Sometimes I can be very impatient.
Oh yes.
Very impatient, right? Because my brain moves so fast, right? I know what I want to do, and sometimes I feel if I interject other people into it, it's gonna slow me down, right? But I've come to the point to realize that me being impatient has a lot to do with me wanting to do things, wanting to get things done right away. But sometimes by me being impatient, things don't get done the way they're supposed to get done, right? So to be patient means you have to wait for things to happen in the right time, in the right timing, I should say. And my timing is always kind of quick. When people listening to what I'm saying, I'm like, they say, well, you're talking fast. I'm like, well, you need to listen faster, right? Because I listen fast. So I think that everybody should, and the reality is not everybody does. So I'm learning out of my impatience to be more patient with people so that, they don't think that I'm just being inconsiderate and all of that. But
gotcha. I could flip that a little bit. And I could flip that to the point of through trial and error, I've learned one of the things that I do is I can take on too much. So I could take on and wanting to I don't want to say
wanting to do everything for
For
everybody.
everybody and help.
And
Yeah,
not
yeah.
miss,
And
yeah.
I could find myself taking on too much to the point to where now, because I've taken on so much, it's just too much, right? And so then trying to accomplish things. So a lot of it, when you end up trying to take on too much through trial and error, what ends up happening, number one, is you cripple people, okay? Because you're probably taking on something that somebody else could have done, themselves.
Well, sometimes you cripple them, sometimes you don't, because if they get you
But
doing it all the time, they can do other stuff.
right, absolutely. So, I think through trial and error,
You can say crutch, you're right, crutch. I see what
I've
you're saying.
learned to not do it as much. So I'm getting a lot better. And that's just simply because I find myself in a position to where I can be overwhelmed, but yet I'm going to get it done. And, I have to be able to handle it all because I decided to take it all on. So if I put myself out there that I'm going to get it done, I'm going to get it done regardless of what how it may affect me. Let me put it that way.
Right. So, so what she just said was, regardless of how it may affect her, she's going to get it done. Right. Which means, and this is a good subject to be on before we move into the next thing. Right. She said, no matter what, she's going to get it done, no matter even how it affects her, which is the problem. Right. So if it's affecting her negatively, right, then that means she's giving too much.
Right.
Right. And if it's consistent, it ends up hurting more than helping in the long run.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
the question we ask ourselves is how do we fix that? Right. And I can tell you right now, and I'm just going to see, because this is the realest show ever. Right. And we're super transparent. I'm going to be super transparent for me. And sometimes I'm going to be super transparent for Pam. Right. So you guys get what you need to get, right? So Pam is what I call a time bender, right?
Time
She
bender?
bends time. She can stop time.
I'm going to bend it in my favor.
She bends it, and what happens is what Pam and I'm saying this so you guys get this, right? It rarely works out the way she intends it to, because there's one thing that's missing. It's going to spawn us into the next thing, which is an interesting, obscure or fun fact about the human body, right? Throwing that in there as a fun fact. Stick around a little later. We end this thing with the relation tip, okay? So let's think about what Pam just said. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm using Pam as the example, and she's so gracious to allow me to do this so you guys learn a lesson, right? So Pam does a lot every day, and it's things that she has on her list, but it's also things that other people put on her list, right? Subconsciously. So as you're doing this and that, in Pam's mind, well, I can start working on that. I was going to work on that today, but I can just do that tonight. I can stay up late and do that. That way, I can just do all of this other stuff that other people want me to do and put my stuff on the back burner later. Or yeah, I'll do that. I'll just do that for them, because Pam doesn't want to disappoint people, right? And in the climbing the ladder to success, one thing I know is you're going to have to piss people off.
But I think that I know my moments of selfishness where I need to get selfish for myself in order to get things done. But you're right. There are many moments in which I've gotten better. Okay, but I will allow others to interject into my day, in which I may have to shift and help a situation. But I can tell you that when I know that I've got to get it done, then I'm going to do it. But I'm again, my heart is to help, and so sometimes that could be a good thing. And yeah.
So takes us to where we're gonna go. Give you guys an interesting fun fact, because we have one life, and I want you guys to learn from this. We have one life,
right?
And we have to live it effectively, right? If we don't live it effectively, mentally and physically, it ends up hurting us in the long run.
Right.
Right. I watched my mom do it for years, and now she has all sorts of health issues. Certain things in your body are cumulative. You don't notice it until later down the road. Right. And then you get into shoulda, coulda, woulda phase, which is hindsight. And when you live your life in hindsight, you never catch up. Right. So here's the thing. I'm going to tell you guys, give you guys this interesting fact, okay? And it's called, why is sleep important?
Oh,
Wait,
absolutely.
wait, because I want to get I want you to let you expound on. I want you to get the actual reason why.
Okay.
It is important to you. Read it directly from the source, right? A lot of people take this for granted, and Pam even jokes me, "You in bed already? It's only 9:00." And I'm like, I don't know what time you think I'm supposed to go to bed, but I'm supposed to go to bed at 9:00, right? If I'm gonna get at least my 6 to 8 hours of sleep, it takes time for me. It takes about 30 minutes for me to fall asleep. So if I'm in bed by my drop dead in bed time, I got to tell y'all is straight up 11:00. If I'm not in bed by 11:00, I'm not happy. Right. So, but most days, Pam will tell you, I will get into bed at 8:30, 9:00. It's not every day, but if I feel like I've done my work for the day and I'm ready to wind down, I will crawl up on the bed. I may be on the outside of the covers right then, but I am winding down because I know how important sleep is. Right. This is how important it is. Sleep is as important to our health as eating, drinking, and breathing. It allows our bodies to repair themselves and our brain to consolidate our memories and process information. Poor sleep is linked to physical problems such as weakened immune system and mental health problems such as anxiety and depression, to name just a couple. Right? So sometimes we don't understand the importance of things and why it's important that we do it now and treat the insides of our body the right way.
Absolutely.
You know, and it seems a little weird sometimes because, well, shoot, I got 24 hours in a day, right? 24 hours in a day. If I get up at 6 a.m, I mean, I can run till 6 p.m, and then I got a whole nother 6 hours that I can run, and then I can fudge another 2 to 3 in that morning, and it just becomes a cycle of a lack of sleep.
Yeah.
And it becomes sleep deprivation. Right?
Absolutely. No, I agree with you on that. One of the things that I could truly say is that I understand the importance of sleep now, right? I didn't always understand the importance of sleep because I do realize that there are moments in life in which there has to be a level of sacrifice. But I think as the older we get, you start to get more wisdom and really understanding that if you're sleep deprived, you can't even function properly. You got to get your rest. And, we got one body to take care of, and that's this one, right? The one that you got, right? And so if we aren't getting the rest that our body needs, and I agree with you, it's just as important as eating, drinking, exercise, and all of that good stuff. It is very important. But a lot of times because we have goals and dreams and things of that nature, we allow this no sleep zone mindset to creep in, and now you find yourself not even able to function, to remember, to think, to do, because you don't have the rest necessary in order to be able to function properly every single day. So, I do get that, and all of that is tied into that whole, trial and error, tied into
time management, procrastination,
procrastination, and all of that.
Allowing outside forces, outside things to throw you off of your goals for the day. Absolutely. Sometimes we tend not to set goals too, right? We just kind of like what we call let it fly and flap in the wind. And we just wake up every day and we just do certain things and be like, go by memory. What do I got to do?
Well, that's insanity.
Right.
See, I learned that part a long time ago, that you gotta wake up every day with a plan. If you don't have a plan and you don't, one of the things that helped me
Right.
to be able to stay on track and to be able to accomplish the things is I have to have it written down. I have to have a list, some things that I know that I need to accomplish on that day. It needs to be in front of me. All right. Because when it's in front of me and I know that I need to get that thing done, then guess what? Because I got it written down, I'm able to stay on task, on point in order to knock things off my list. It's the greatest feeling to know exactly what you want to accomplish and to actually get it done. You know, it's the greatest feeling to, you know, wake up in the morning and to have a plan as opposed to getting up and just wandering aimlessly. And I think that that's what ends up happening. That's why there can be so many trials and so many errors, just simply because of not having a plan. But as you grow in this thing, as you shift your mind, as you begin to become the person that you need to become, nobody's perfect. But as we get up and we work on ourselves every single day, what ends up happening is, you know, we go through less trial and less error because we learn from the mistakes from the last errors that we made, and we grow through them in order to now accomplish more. You know, so whereas, you know, it's a daily grind, it's a daily becoming. But as we work on us, we truly begin to bring about change. So, yeah.
So working on us. So we're here, and one of the main things we're talking about today, and this is all spawning into our topic, which is motion or movement, right? You know, we always talk about moving vertically and forward and vertical, right? Never, you know, side to side, right? Because moving side to side just gets
Not going nowhere.
Looks like you're going somewhere, right? But here's what success really looks like. Okay, we know that it's not a straight line. We know it's not. Right. But it's also not side to side either. Right. And so success may be some of this, it's some of this. It's like a heartbeat, right? You're up and you're down, right? And you learn from those different moments, because the downs are the parts that you go through and you're like, okay, I learned from, let me get back up. But it's constant because there's a lot of unknowns, right? And you want you guys to apply this in your business or in your business plan and what you're doing right now, because success is typically a mindset, right? It's a mindset. And if you think you're being successful at moving laterally, right, then that's the mindset that you have. You have to be realistic with yourself, right? Be realistic with yourself. Stop letting yourself off the hook. Stop cheating yourself. It's the kiss of death when you tell lies and then you believe those same lies, right? So you write down what it is that you need to do every day. I got to write this down. I got this. I got to do this, this, and this. And here's the thing. Once you finish your goals for the day, you got your goals accomplished. There's nothing else that you wanted to accomplish today. Then it's your choice on whether you want to actually do something else, right? Now, you may have finished your goals up at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, right? It's your choice on whether you want to now take on other tasks from someone else or do something else. But there has to be a process every day that we follow, that we actually say, okay, I'm going to do this work, get this done, move myself forward, and then I'm also going to feed my body the right stuff. I'm going to drink water every day, right? The right amount of water that I'm supposed to drink, right? I'm going to put the right stuff in my ear canal, right? I'm going to do the right things. I'm going to go to bed and give my body rest, because I can't function properly the next day unless I get rest.
Absolutely.
Right? So all of these things are sexy, are cool to say, right? It's cool to say it, but it's sexier when you actually do it.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing: when you I heard what is the guy's name? Gosh, he curses a lot. God, I can't remember his name. Anyway, he's the guy that was Maximus Down. He was an Army Ranger. Like, he went through the training like 3 times, and I can't remember his name, but nonetheless, he said, success, if you want to be successful, you know you're on the right track when things get hard, right? When things get hard, when people start to talk crap about you, he said something else, right? But when people start to talk crap about you and people, don't understand what you're doing, right? He says some of y'all are just on the wrong track, but when you know you're on the right track and you're accomplishing your goals and you're breaking gravity, there are people that are just not going to understand what you're doing. That's when you know you're on the right track. When you're still appeasing everybody is still enamored by you and just loving everything. Oh man, you're so awesome. And because you're still showing up for them and not you.
Yeah.
Because I can promise you, I know this like a book. When you start showing up for you is when the judgments start happening. Mm-hmm. It's when people stop understanding what you're doing. Well, you used to do this. You used to do that. Well, all of the stuff I used to do is what kept me where I used to be. Right. So I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, right, absolutely. And that may be for a season, but then there's something called growth, right? You can't stay right there. And especially when you know that there's more for you to do, and God is telling you to do those other things. Then in order for us to be able to fulfill and to achieve our goals and to move and operate in our purpose, we got to do the things that other people may not like, other people may not care about, but when you know for sure and without a shadow of a doubt, that there is so much more for us to do here on this earth, then you get yourself to the point to where you're not really concerned with what other people would think. You just do it, You're
gonna lose some friends.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose some
part of the process.
You're gonna lose some people. And if you think you're not going to, if you don't lose anybody in your life in terms of them not understanding you and them falling away from you, that means that you're already in a better place because you didn't have anybody, right? You didn't have anybody when you started your ascension, right? Because when you start to move up, that's when things start to happen. And it's the hardest concept for people to understand. They say, well, as soon as I started to do that, things started to happen differently in my life, right? It's called change.
Right.
Change.
And not everybody's going to change with you. And not everybody's going to be excited about the change that you decide to change and to change into, like for real. Everybody's not going to be excited. Yeah. And I think that when people begin to realize that or really truly understand it, I know it was hard for me. Mm-hmm. It was because I didn't want that, nobody wants to have that happen. Nobody wants to lose relationships and things like that, but when God says move and you do, you got to know that he's got the right connections, the right opportunities, the right people, and the next level. But if you never embark upon stretching yourself and moving beyond where you are currently at this very moment, you'll never even see what he has at that next level.
Absolutely.
And connect with those connections.
And that's good what you just said. You'll never see what is on the path in front of you if you never ever start to move in the right direction. Right. And it's key. I guess it's painful. I guess that's the best way I can say it. Success is going to be painful initially, right? But if you do what you're supposed to do now, do the hard stuff now, then you have it easy later in life, right? Because you get certain things out of the way. You establish the baseline. And I wish that we could tell you guys something different, but it's just the way it is. Motion and movement are the synonymous words are the things that you actually want in your quest, in your journey.
You gotta have it. If you don't have that, you're not going nowhere.
You're not going anywhere. So let's break that down in layman's terms for this last couple of minutes of the show, right? How do you determine that you're going somewhere? You make that determination on what you're accomplishing. If you're not accomplishing anything, right, the stuff that you can accomplish right now, right, you may not have the money to pay other people. You may not have the trust to have other people handle your vision. You may not have any of that right now. But do the things that you can do. And I promise you what will happen is when you're taking those steps forward, you'll get closer and closer. You get more understanding, right? The more of the things that were unknown will now become known. And I promise you, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be well worth it. Right?
Absolutely.
Try me.
Sounds good.
So let's close this thing out with the relationship and this, and this thing is not when we talk about relationships or relationships, it's not all about marriage. All right. It's about your relationship with people, your relationship with your business, with your goals, with your vision. Those are all relationships. And one of the key things that I know in a relationship that you're having with anybody is synonymous of man and woman, synonymous of business partners, which Pam and I are, right? We're partners and we do business together. We're business partners. We're husband and wife. But the reality is, if your partner does not believe in what you're doing, find out why. Find out why they don't believe in what you're doing. But when you ask that 3-letter word, that question, why, be prepared for the answer, right? But make sure that you have a good rebuttal. So that rebuttal, if I ask Pam, say, well, baby, just, tell me why, why don't you support me in building this?
Right. Absolutely.
If Pam says, right,
I answer.
Yeah, Pam answers, and Pam says, well, because you're full of crap, because you don't do what you say you're going to do, because you're not moving forward, you're procrastinating a lot. Your things aren't moving because you said you were going to do this 2 weeks ago and you never did it. That's why I'm not supporting you in it, because you're not serious about it. I can take that as a slap in the face or a wake up call.
There you go.
Right?
Right.
It's a wake up call.
Right.
I said, be prepared. It's not always going to be like, I just don't like you. So I don't know what you do.
Right.
But sometimes they may say, I don't know. I just don't like what you do. If they can't tell you why they don't like it, then keep moving the way you're moving.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. And just learn to listen to what that other partner, spouse, whoever it may be in the relationship, what they're saying. And if it's valid, it's something that you need to take heed to, then figure out what you need to do to fix it and admit, the wrong. It's okay, because in a relationship, you have to be able to, and kind of move, going along what we was talking about, movement and motion, you have to be able to move together. In a partnership, in a relationship, you have to be able to move together. The only way to be able to move together is to be on the same page with the same vision, headed in the same direction. So therefore, that goes back to communication, and listening and being able to understand, what the other is saying, so that you can move forward and that motion can happen in the relationship in order to be able to create success.
Absolutely. And the right direction, as Pam just said, she said to moving in the right direction. That doesn't mean that I have to be doing the exact same things that Pam is doing.
Right.
She has to be doing the exact same things that I'm doing. We are moving. We both have a vision of helping other people, right? Which is why this podcast is here, which is why IAO Academy is here, IAO Foundation. Everything is geared toward helping other people, right? And we both have that passion. So our visions are kind of like going hand in hand. And if you find somebody that has a vision and your partner's like, well, I don't want to help people, I hate people, and you absolutely love people, right? And you want to help people, then does that mean you leave that person? That just means that you got your vision and they're not going to do anything in life. You have to make that call on your own, right? Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. But
we won't even go there.
Yeah, we won't even go there.
Not us.
Yeah, there's so much we can say on it, guys.
Yeah.
But we're gonna bring this podcast to an end, and tell you guys that whatever you're doing, guys, always look to be moving forward. And a good indicator is you're getting things done. You're taking constructive criticism. A good indicator if somebody is telling you the right stuff is if when you hear it it's something that you really think is going to move you forward. Because here's one thing I found, and then I'm done. I found that absolutely, positively nobody should be as infatuated or as passionate about your goals and your vision as you.
There you go.
When somebody else is, that's a problem.
That's a huge problem.
Right.
Absolutely. You got to be the one that's on fire, that sets yourself on fire, that keeps the flame burning, and that gets up every single day and moves yourself forward. It's not dependent upon anybody else. You got to be the one. And so with that being said, that's it. You know, for today, trial and error, motion, movement, all of that good stuff as we are entering a new month, about to close out a whole year, then it's time to move. Take some action. We'll see you back on Thursday, same place, same time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us, www.iaolifepod.com, and go register, all right, for our free event happening on November 20th. All right, virtual event. Go to iaolife.com and sign up and invite somebody. We'll see you on Thursday. Bye-bye, everybody.